her speech. Give it up for Erin.
Probably going to regret that in a minute, but I've been excited about wearing the shirt, so. Okay. Hi, I'm Erin. I'm from CJBC, and I'm psyched to talk to you guys. Thank you for sticking it out. I know it's freezing. So, there's been a lot of talk about CJBC recently, and that's thrilling to me. I'm so proud to see what we have been able to accomplish this year, despite intimidation from the Boston College administration. In case you haven't heard by now, our group has been denied official registered student organization status for 6 to 7 semesters. Over the past couple of years, we have been met with resistance from BC. Students have been either intimidated away from joining our group or scared out of it once they're joined. But nothing compares to the treatment we've received this semester. As one of the students found responsible for organizing a vigil at a Catholic institution on Global Divestment Day in February, I received a disciplinary letter. I was told BC's rules are kept intentionally vague to allow for them to interpret them as needed. And they're coming down on us. And why are they? It's simple. We've built a tremendous amount of power both on and off campus. We are no longer a fringe group. More and more students are understanding our argument and are agreeing with it. Not to mention that CJBC is just one small capillary of a massive global fossil fuel divestment movement that has recently even been backed by the United Nations. And that is very scary to those who benefit from the business as usual as it exists today. However, we've had a major win this semester. At our vigil, we had posters, songs, and prayers that asked Boston College to pick a side. The side of fossil fuel companies, or the side of our university students and our futures. The side of justice to be served for all of those who are already being wrongly affected by climate change. They have chosen the side of the fossil fuel companies. Very definitely. They have recently renamed the College of Arts and Sciences after a man who is the director of a utility trust that is heavily tied with fossil fuels. And who is a trustee for a charitable fund that donates to climate denialist think tanks, such as FreedomWorks. A man who has profited off of BC's continued investment in fossil fuels. They have chosen the side of the fossil fuel companies and are attempting to justify their choice with shallow arguments that have been used over and over again at different universities and have been answered well by divestment activists. I'm so thankful that BC administrators are finally having this conversation with CJBC publicly. In a response elicited by Jack Dunn recently on behalf of the administration, he gave many reasons why BC did not divest. These reasons are all refutable, and I'm going to go through them one by one. First, Jack Dunn argues that our endowment is here to serve as solely a financial resource to fund renovation, student research, and mentorship. It is not a tool for political or social change. Jack Dunn cannot argue that our endowment is not to be used as a political tool. The fact that our endowment exists inherently makes it a political tool. Owning that much capital is a responsibility that we can't pretend does not exist. The fact that our endowment continues to be invested in companies that pay billions of dollars per year to buy our politicians and to misinform the American public so that they can get away with destroying our planet at no cost to them is political. Sure as hell. Not to mention, BC divested from apartheid in South Africa in the 1980s. And whether or not this was morally or financially founded, at the time, the fossil fuel divestment movement has both the moral and financial argument on our side. And we know that divestment has already been possible at BC. Dunn is summarized in saying in a recent Heights article that BC's position is that the endowment exists to provide a revenue for the university. This is contradictory to BC's own endowment webpage. While it is admirable that BC cares so much about serving academics and university initiatives, the statement contradicts precisely what BC claims to stand for. Recorded on the BC webpage is, in the management of its investments, BC reflects the ethical, social, and moral principles inherent in its mission and heritage. In particular, the university is firmly committed to the promotion of the dignity of the individual, personal freedom, and social justice. And we are all here today. The university apparently is firmly committed to promoting social justice with its investments, yet they fail to address the most important issue in the world today, an issue that Catholics and Jesuits are tackling internationally. For example, the University of Loyola Chicago today and this weekend is holding a divestment action workshop and a climate change conference addressing these very issues. Second, Jack Dunn argues that BC can fight climate change by having LEED certified buildings and by promoting sustainability on campus. That the way we stop climate change is to commit ourselves individually to habit change. Well, Jack, habit change is proven. To be sustainable, I became a vegan. I stopped driving my car, I buy my clothes used, and I recycle like mad. I'm studying physics so I can help create alternative energy technology. But guess what? Climate change still exists. The fact of the matter is that BC could disappear from the face of the planet, or could be completely carbon neutral, and our civilization would still be heading towards climate chaos. Yes, please be sustainable. But right now in 2015, we need systemic change, and we need it quickly. Climate change is no longer an abstract plot in an Al Gore documentary. People, particularly poor people, people of color, and people in the global south, are dying right now. We can't wait for environmental studies or political science majors to take office in a decade or 2 or 3. We urgently need a change to our political and economic system that is owned by fossil fuel companies. And recycling in Edmonds is not going to change that. Third, Jack Dunn argues that divestment is a difficult and complicated process, the depths of which a student like me could never understand. Then, may I ask, how did the Rockefellers manage to divest $50 billion from fossil fuels? But I'll level with you. We understand divestment is not an instantaneous process, and that is why our petition, which has over 2,000 signatures now, asks BC to withhold new investments in fossil fuels and to fully divest within 5 years. Additionally, didn't CJBC announce at our last rally that in December that Cambridge Associates, the largest endowment consultant in the U.S. that works for BC, announced that they would facilitate fossil fuel divestment for universities and other institutions. They will incorporate environmental and social screens, provide institutions with names of